So for those of you who have been following my content for a while, you guys pretty much know where I stand as far as what I believe about the political spectrum, about being right or left. And there's a video that I've been wanting to play on this channel for quite a minute that pretty much highlights exactly what I've been trying to say within the past 3 or 4 videos that I've been making. So this song that I've been wanting you guys to listen to is called Feel Away by BIZZLE. He is a Christian rapper, but within this specific song, he's talking about how he feels a certain way about the political climate that has overcome America. This song came out in July 22nd of 2020, right after the wake of the George Floyd killing, and he's going to be pretty much criticizing both sides of the political spectrum. If you are a Tom MacDonald fan, I do firmly believe you're gonna like this song. It is a rap song. I know there's some people that do not like rap. If you don't like rap, you can click away, but if you like truth, I suggest you stay and listen.
Man, I've been feeling so overwhelmed by the pressure to have the right thing to say, and the pain of watching the world crumble and wishing you could do something about it, but you can't. Looking out my window make me feel away. Every time I see the news it make me feel away. Social media that made me feel away. But when I talk to you, God, I feel okay. I feel okay. When I talk to you, God, I feel okay. I know you feel my pain. Yeah. I woke up this morning, stayed in bed, ain't wanna go out. I see Twitter, IG bout to make me throw my phone out. People love to judge a bunch of stuff that they don't know about. Feel like Jesus, this would be the perfect time to show how. Pick and choose a light or let fly. You only want the truth and it protect you. I can tell you Jesus ain't white, but you'll ignore the light, it don't affect you. Racism's real and that's that, but we just see the tape and then react. New tape leak new facts, but we don't want the facts when he black. I don't care you're black or white, none of that matters in the afterlife. What are we acting like? Either the world or the church, but if not us, then who should have it, right? We are so divided right now. I just shut my eyelids and try to fight this depression I'm in right now. Trying to quiet my mind down, mind down. Looking out my window make me feel away. Every time I see the news it make me feel away.
He said every time he sees the news, every time he sees social media, it makes him feel a certain type of way. And I've said this before, I feel like this is how they kind of get us. We're surrounded with social media, we're surrounded with TV news. Even if you don't have a phone or you don't have a smartphone, we're surrounded by what we hear on the radio. We're always bombarded with news. Here's all these things that are gonna only enforce the ideologies that we have also placed on you. I feel like all of these things eventually can throw somebody into a state of depression and just a state of hopelessness. Depending on what you listen to or who you listen to and what your news sources are, you're gonna align on one of those sides. So yeah, social media and the news definitely can make somebody feel a certain kind of way.
Social media that made me feel away. But when I talk to you, God, I feel okay. I feel okay. When I talk to you, God, I feel okay. I know you feel my pain. Yeah. It pains me to see the blind lead the blind and punish those who attempt to see and think with their own mind. I don't care about right or left, just life or death, good and evil. I promise you it's not possible to know that when you look at people, real talk. All I see is manipulation, everyone forced to pick a side. Both them sides belong to Satan, both got demons in the basement. Yeah, some white folks are racist, but some get falsely accused. And some of y'all banging this right now and don't know that the racist one is you. Black folks love that quote, but don't see that we can be racist too. We get mad to the degree that we can think and act just like a racist do. Whether CNN or Fox News, it's one-sided, they both biased. One will only show the nice protest, the other side will only show the riots. They don't care about the truth, all they seem to care about is whose side winning. Folks side picking, everybody willing to ignore the lies they side kicking. Both sides got truth too, so it's hard to tell who's who. I ain't gotta pick, I agree and disagree with what I choose to, real talk. Looking out my window make me feel away. Every time I see the news it make me feel away. Social media that made me feel away. But when I talk to you, God, I feel okay. I feel okay. When I talk to you, God, I feel okay. I know you feel my pain.
one of the things that bothers me about politics, and I've seen this before from the left and from the right, there are truth on both sides, but people like to cherry pick and say, yes, this is true about us, this is what we believe, but even though we may have bad stuff happening on our end, we're gonna ignore that. We don't really like to talk about it, or they'll try to justify and defend it. And this is something that's really been bothering me for a long time. I like what he really said about the whole black people can be racist. We get mad to the degree that we can think and act like a racist does. Humans take every opportunity to overcomplicate the most simple of things. Now, I'm not trying to oversimplify humans, because humans are very complex creatures, but the problem with human society, the problem with society that we have today, is that we overcomplicate things. This is not a left issue, this is not a right issue. As I said it before, this is a human issue. The reason why things aren't going to get better is because people aren't addressing the problem as humans. People are addressing the problem as political ideologies. And that's not how you're going to help somebody. You're not going to help them by only pointing out their mistakes as, oh, you're on the left, you're a leftist? Ah, those leftists. Oh, you're on the right? Ah, those right people. But people are so wrapped up within the matrix, people are so wrapped up within the simulation that nobody can see the forest for the trees. Pride is a human issue. Error is a human issue. These are all human functions that function within our society. So it's no doubt that if a human has error, if a human has pride, if a human has arrogance, and they're in positions of power, i.e. politicians and people in high positions altogether and in general, then of course it's going to reflect within our laws. Of course it's going to reflect within our schools. Group identity. This is what Marxists believe, but I kind of think that both sides, to an element, kind of utilize the same kind of thinking, because what happens is that people say, well, you're a leftist. Now, that's the thing. Republicans say, yeah, Marxism is bad. I agree. Marxism isn't good. But at the same time, we cannot clump everything in one category and throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, yeah, if you're a leftist, then you're trash. And I know I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over and over again, but the reason why I keep saying it over and over and over again is because people don't get it. Even when you say this, people will say, you know what, I totally agree with what he's saying, but I'm still a Republican, or I totally agree with what he's saying. No. You have to think beyond that. Critically think, and I've asked this before. Who are you outside of being a Republican? Who are you outside of being a leftist? 2020 has shown and proved that Americans are still very, very immature. And I believe this is what George Carlin was talking about when he said Americans are freaking stupid. And Americans are stupid. We're ignorant. We're ignorant of the truth because we're so wrapped up within the matrix. We're so wrapped up with our handlers. It's almost like the Truman Show, where it's just, this is just one big show. And people are just playing their little role and playing their little part, thinking that they're adding to something grand, but you're not at all. And being a Christian, I look at this and I say, look, this comes down to good versus evil. I know there's a lot of people who aren't Christian, but this is what I believe. And this even goes to a lot of Christians. A lot of Christians tend to look at Trump as their savior. And I'm just like, if you're a Christian, Jesus is your savior, not Trump. Trump is just a man like me and you, like the guy next door. Why are you looking at him to save the country? Sure, God can move, and God can move through anybody he pleases to, but the problem becomes when you begin to idolize. Hence why I always say people put their politicians on a pedestal and worship them as gods. What is it going to take? And not only that, what can you do? Well, like I said, look at both sides without your bias and critically dissect each side for what it's worth. But not only that, I urge you, go and read document 1035-960 that I keep bringing up. The sooner you can read that, the sooner you'll understand that, yeah, you know what, there is something going on here. Are the CIA Republicans? Are they trying to get rid of those leftists? No. They're the ones ushering in the divide. They're the ones shutting down the critical thinkers who are thinking outside, above, and beyond. I've said my piece, and I don't want to keep sounding like a broken record, because I want to make content that's more different, that talks about different things. But like I said, the main gist of the channel is for people to have a conversation about it, but to think critically without bias. But it's like, no matter how many times I say that, somebody will always make it about politics, which is really, really frustrating in my opinion. And it's not going to get any better as long as people try to confine and keep confining themselves in their little prison cells. I mean, political parties. Like I said, I really don't want to keep saying the same thing over and over again, but I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let's start a conversation down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.